Hello, beautiful magicians. So welcome to week 7. Today we are talking about celestial magic. This is the week focus, the focus for the week. So moon magic is something that is very helpful to know. And basically I can sum it up in knowing the cycle of the moon and the energy of astrology. So basically, when the moon is in a particular sign, that will give you a particular effect, and you can use that in your magic. So just to kind of break it down very quickly, and then we're going to get into some astrology, and we're going to be reading birth charts today. You are going to be reading your own and sharing with the group, hopefully. So basically, when the moon is in a sign, it has a particular effect on us. And the planets don't so much take us away from our free will. They present us with energy, and then it's up to us what we want to do with that energy. So in no way do the planets force us to do things. So let's just be clear about that. So the moon stays in a sign for 2 days, a zodiac sign, as it moves. And say you're doing a spell on the new moon, for example. New moons are a wonderful time to plant seeds for things to start, for new beginnings. So if you want to start on a project, or you're opening up a business, or you want a new relationship to flourish and blossom, that's when you would want to do a spell on the new moon. On the full moon, and then work your way up to the full moon, right? So the full moon would be an ending time. So say you are ending a relationship and you don't want to see a person anymore, you want to cut contracts with that person, soul contracts. You would do a spell on the full moon, and basically, you could put their name in the ground and bury them, and send them into the earth, or burn them with fire. You could end things on the full moon. The full moon is also a completion. It's where we see all the benefits of the hard work we've put in over the month. We see things manifested. We see things in their completion. So if you want to set an intention on the new moon, you can actually see it manifested on the full moon if you kind of look back at your journal, if you write it down maybe. So because the moon has a different effect on us depending on which sign it's in, say if you were doing like a money spell, you would want the moon to be in a practical, like earthy sign, like Taurus, or Capricorn, very good with money. Even Scorpio, that's a very powerful sign that loves money and power. Libra is another sign ruled by Venus, all about love, but also business. So we're going to talk about the signs in a second. It's a very intuitive thing. Astrology is a language, and once you know what the signs mean, what the symbols mean, what the planets mean, you can just read it like English. It's very simple. Words, if you didn't know what they meant and you didn't understand the alphabet, they would just be words on a page. But once you know the symbolic meaning of those words, images and things will start to come to you, and anybody can do astrology. It's very easy to start using this for your magic. You can look up what the planets are in, what the moon is in, by going to astro.com. That's the best site. It's completely free. That's what I use for my professional readings, so we're going to go there after I give a little intro here. So another thing to think about are retrogrades. And now, if planets are retrograde, that means the energies turn inward. Your energies turn inward. And that wouldn't be a good time to do spells where you want something manifested into the physical. So say money again, or business. If Venus was a retrograde, that's the planet of business often, you wouldn't want to do, along with love, you wouldn't want to do a money spell if it was retrograde, because it would be like trying to swim upstream. You have to basically know the planets. It's a very good idea to know the planetary cycles, the celestial cycles, as well as the earthly cycles, because it just makes life easier. Think about, just looking outside. Would you go to the beach on a rainy day? No, you wouldn't have fun. It would be very difficult to stay there and get tanned. So in the same respect, we look to the stars to see what's going on, to see when it's a good time to do certain things. So everyone knows Mercury retrograde. Of course you know when it's retrograde, communication and travel don't always work out the way they're planned. So you wouldn't do a traveling spell, or you wouldn't do some communication like spell. Very, very simple. Very elementary stuff. So we're going to talk about the zodiac signs now and the planets so we can use them in our magic. Now, like I said, before I get into it, astrology is, it's an art form. I believe that it's a science. It's a form of divination, and it's been around for a long, long time. It actually originated in like Egypt and things like that, maybe even before Greece, so that's really cool to think about. And it's just a really great tool for you to learn why certain themes are occurring. It's like a master key to life that allows you to navigate much easier and learn so much more about your own soul and the energy of others, the archetypes of others. So in my opinion, we all come from the same place, but we kind of get filtered down through different areas in the universe, in consciousness, and dependent upon our birth time, where we get born, where we choose to incarnate, this is like a map of our soul. And this shows other people our strengths, our weaknesses. It's kind of like a look into people's souls. So that's why astrology is very useful. It just allows you to understand more about your own soul and the soul of the world. So that is obviously helpful in magic. So let's move on to the signs. The first sign is Aries. And Aries is cardinal fire. Cardinal means leader. So it is ruled by Mars. And keywords for Aries are impulsiveness, leadership, intuition, willpower, war, courage, inspiration, acting without thinking, impulsiveness, right? Playfulness. So it's fresh from the void. It comes out of Pisces and it's like, I'm here, I'm so excited. And then it's like, oh, this world is kind of harsh. So it puts up a guard and becomes the warrior. Next is Taurus. So Taurus is fixed earth. Fixed means it doesn't move. It doesn't really sway. And people can't really persuade it otherwise, right? It's very rigid. Ruled by Venus. Keywords are beauty, money, business, sex without emotional connection, so purely physical, sensual, pleasure, the physical five senses, nature, stubbornness, security, and comfort. So Taurus is all about the physical body. And next we have Gemini. Gemini is mutable air. Mutable means changeable. Ruled by Mercury. Keywords for Gemini are the mind, communication, creativity, lack of consistency, technology, singing, learning, direct environment, playfulness, lack of focus. And I say lack of focus because Gemini is all about its direct environment and it gets very distracted quite easily. So Cancer is next, number 4. Cardinal water, ruled by the moon. Emotions, comfort, music, stubbornness, oversensitivity, beauty, creating a beautiful home, nurturing the mother, strong intuition are keywords. Leo is next, number 5. Fixed fire, ruled by the sun. The only planet ruled by the sun. Keywords for Leo are drama, passion, the heart, generosity, leadership, the limelight, self-centeredness, glamour, creative expression, sometimes egoism. So number 6 is Virgo. Mutable earth, ruled by Mercury. The mind, precision, worry, details, daily tasks, utility, criticism, purity, cleanliness, overthinking. Number 7 is Libra, cardinal air, ruled by Venus. Beauty, balance, relationships, weak sense of individuated self. They're always focusing on other people. Peace, justice, vanity, harmony, creative self-expression. Scorpio, fixed water, ruled by Pluto. Emotional intensity, power, control, mind games, extreme situations, truth, transformation, darkness, music, strong intuition. Sagittarius, number 9. Mutable fire ruled by Jupiter. Freedom, learning, teaching, authority, fixed thinking, travel, joy, exploring other lands and cultures, strong sex drive, rule making. Capricorn, number 10. Cardinal Earth, ruled by Saturn. Stability, structure, order, authority, introversion, emotional maturity, ambitious, power, strength, persistence, rigidness, lack of playfulness. Maybe not introversion, just not showing the emotions. That's kind of what I meant. Aquarius, number 11. Fixed air, ruled by Venus. Communication, the mind, fixed thinking, humanitarianism, visionary insights, non-attachment, detachment, music, creative self-expression, out-of-the-box thinking, teaching. Pisces, mutable water, ruled by Neptune. Emotions, sensitivity, art, spirit, other realms, imagination, music, fantasy, lying, illusion, detachment, expression, strong intuitive abilities. So before I get into the planets, I just kind of want to talk about the signs and give you a little example that I actually took from an astrologer named Kepacha. He has some really good info if you want to check him out. So he had this analogy about the signs that made it really clear for me to start comprehending the zodiac. So basically, if, say the zodiac signs are on a plane, right? And Aries is the plane crash. So they crash land and they're on the earth and they're like, oh my god, I'm here! Then Taurus is like, holy crap, I have a body, I'm alive. Gemini is like, okay, well, we're here, we gotta go find food, but I gotta go find stuff. We gotta create a house or something, we gotta find stuff to survive. Cancer is, okay, now we have our home, let's protect it, let's stay inside and be safe. Leo then is, okay, well, I have my home, now I'm gonna start thinking about myself. Like, now I don't just have to focus on survival, now I can think, oh, okay, well, who am I? Like, who am I? Why am I here? So it's the beginning of kind of self-awareness. Then Virgo goes, okay, well, I know myself now. Let's start focusing on others. Let's start serving others. Libra has that down, and they focus on others a lot, and they're like, okay, how can I help you? And they have more refined thoughts now because they've been making art on the island or whatever. Then Scorpio is the total unity with another. They want complete and utter unity with the other. Beyond that, Sagittarius starts to think beyond the island. Well, how can I take this ability to help others beyond the island? How can I go to other cultures? How can I heal the world? How can I start enlightening the people? Capricorn goes, okay, well, I'm off the island now. I want to start building some structure. I want to have a society. I want to be a political leader now. Aquarius is, okay, well, I've done my stint as a political leader, and now I think I'm gonna go back to the island and set up an alternative living situation where we can play music all day and make art and just be in our own world, and it's going to be completely futuristic and have amazing technology and be better. Pisces is, I've done it all and I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. Maybe I'll hang out on the island, maybe I'll go into the city, maybe I'll go swimming, I don't know. Maybe I'll just meditate all day. So I really hope that tickles your fancy. I hope that helps you understand things. So now I'm going to move on. So you can think about the first 4 signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, as the unconscious of the zodiac. you can think about the next 4 signs, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, as the conscious. So I'm aware of myself and other people now. And the last 4, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, as super consciousness. I'm super aware of other people and I want to help them. On the dark side, I can manipulate them. So there's that. So now we're going to move on to the planets, and I'm hoping that you'll start to understand that the elements we talked about when we were making our altars can be used in this as well. So with that understanding of the elements, it's going to be so much more easier to understand astrology. So I'm very excited for you guys to start sharing with the group about your signs and your birth chart. So the sun is the first one. And the sun, so let's start with the sun. The sun represents your ego or your personality, and it shows how likely you are to assert yourself. It describes the lens from which you view the world, and it's associated to Leo. So in just normal mundane astrology, you see sun sign horoscopes in the newspaper, but that's a very small portion of astrology. It's just our ego. It's just how we express ourselves, right? It's not how we relate to people emotionally. It's not where our heart is, how we relate to people sexually. It's not our mind. It's nothing like that. So it's a very small portion, but it's still important, just like everything else. Almost more important, in my opinion, than the sun sometimes is the moon sign, and you'll be looking yours up in a minute here. So the moon in astrology represents how you will interact with others emotionally, how you will relate to them. Your imagination, your intuition, receptivity, adaptability, and ability to empathize will be influenced by your moon. So the associated sign is Cancer. If you have your moon in an unconscious sign, like of the unconscious zodiac, it's going to be a lot harder for you to empathize. If you have it in the superconscious sign, like Pisces or something, you're going to be very empathetic. So it's very simple like that. And not, but you'll see. So Mercury is next, and this represents our intellect, our ability to communicate, common sense, learning, and anything else? What we like to talk about as well, how we talk to other people. Associated signs are Gemini and Virgo. So you also want to remember that planets can be retrograde in your chart, so you want to look for that as well. It just means that the energy is going to be inward. If Mercury is retrograde, for example, you're going to have a harder time talking. Your mind's going to be abstract. You're going to be like a computer programmer, like musician or something very creative. Venus is next, and Venus gives us our sense of beauty, aesthetic sense, sociability, and creativity. It shows us how likely we are to act in relationships of all kinds. It shows us where our passions are, where our heart is drawn. Associated signs are Taurus and Libra, the lovers. Mars is next, and Mars represents your vital energy, your willpower, and your sexual drive. It shows you how courageous you are, impulsive or aggressive you can be, and it's associated to Aries. Traditionally, it was Scorpio as well, but not so much anymore. Jupiter represents hope, optimism, learning, teaching, justice, philosophy, and spiritual expansion. Associated signs, one is Sagittarius. Saturn is next, and it illustrates where your harsh lessons are going to be in life. It represents the physical world and all the demands, challenges, and fears associated. Power, authority, endurance, concentration, and caution are major themes. Capricorn is associated. Uranus represents imagination, inspiration, creativity, spontaneity, genius flashes, bursts of insights and genius thoughts and things like that, spiritual awakenings, the strange or the taboo, the kind of weird. Aquarius is associated. Neptune represents the spirit world, the unmanifest, the non-material. Intuition, dreams, magic, fantasy, illusion. Drugs can be associated with this sign too, like psychedelics and other worlds, other dimensions, other states of consciousness, altered ones. Pisces is associated. Pluto is last, and this is where we learn how we deal with power. So it represents your soul theme as well, and where you will embrace and share your power, transforming yourself and the world. It deals with themes of transformation, death, rebirth, endurance, darkness, depth, and spiritual truth. Associated sign is Scorpio. So if you're looking at your chart also, if you have a planet in its home sign, it makes that planet much stronger. Or if it's like, say you have Mercury in like Libra or something, which is an air sign which loves to communicate, then that makes it that much stronger. So do you see how it just kind of starts to make sense? So now we're going to look at our birth chart, and I'm going to go over it with you and just kind of show you a very basic introduction on how to look at your birth chart. It's going to be very basic, and I just want you guys to start playing with it because it really has been so helpful for me in my life and allowed me to just get what I want and really be good to myself and understand myself on a deep level and understand others, which makes life so much easier and makes us much more powerful magicians. So I will see you in 1 second. Okay, so here we have astro.com, and this is one of the best sites for astrology. I use it all the time. And okay, what are we doing here? So we're going to go to free horoscopes. Oops, I don't want to click on it, but we're going to just hover over it and come over here. Go to extended chart selection, and you're just going to enter in, oh my god, what do I have here? Let's edit the data. You can add a new person. You can be a guest, or you can sign up for an account. If you sign up for an account, you get 3 free spots. You can just keep editing the people though, if you want to keep your account free, or you can pay for one if you feel like it. So let's do Christina. Let's use me as an example. So I'm a female, I guess, and that's my birthday, and October 1988. So you have to know your birth date, your birth time. Mine was at 2 a.m., 2:22, Vancouver, BC, and there we go. Very, very simple. Enter all your information, your birth town. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the transits as well. Actually, no, we're going to skip that. It's just too much information right now. So I like to also click on Lilith here, and you can just press Control and Chiron and Juno because those are quite important aspects in the birth chart that I like to use. I also click on True Node here and Descending Nodes, which have to do with your future and your past. And we'll add aspects to Chiron because that is what I like to do. So let's show the chart. Okay, so here is my birth chart. And as you can see, it looks kind of intimidating if you don't really know astrology, but it's very, very actually simple once you start to get to know the symbols. So you can look down here at this little legend for a rundown of all the planets in their signs. So I'm 29 degrees Libra. Each orb, each sign is a 30-degree orb, but it starts on 0, so 29th is the last degree. And basically, if you are born on 0 degree, that's the freshest energy, that's the newest sign. That's the newest energy of the sign. 29th degree is the last energy of the sign, and it just means the most mature. So I'm obviously here on the last part of some soul mission, just finishing what I was doing before. So my sun over here is in 29th degree Libra. Let's see where my moon is. 20 degrees Pisces. Okay, so it's over here, 20 degrees Pisces. Mercury, Libra, let's find Mercury right over there. Venus, Virgo, where's my Venus? Right here, Virgo, that's the sign for Virgo. And Mars in 0 degrees Aries, there it is, it's retrograde as you can see. Jupiter in Gemini, retrograde. And Uranus in Sagittarius, right there. Saturn in Sagittarius, Neptune in Sagittarius, Pluto in Scorpio. So the ascendant always starts right here, and you can see that mine is in, it looks like it's in Virgo, but it's actually in the last degree of Leo, so I'm kind of progressing into Virgo. And then it will just kind of go out from there. So Virgo, after Virgo's Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, as you can see, those are the houses. Those are what my houses are. So second house would be in Virgo, because you look at the left side of it. Third house would be in Libra, you look at the left side. Okay, so let's just start to look at some of the planets, and I'll just kind of show you how I use my intuition to read astrology charts. So then we'll get into some of the houses, and we'll just keep it pretty basic for now because there's a lot of information. So, okay, let's look at my Pluto. My Pluto, and remember that Pluto is how you use power. It's also your soul theme. So my Pluto is in 11 degrees Scorpio in the 3rd house. So Pluto is ruled, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So that's a very strong Pluto. It means I came here with a strong mission probably, or I like to use power or something like that, or I have a drive to succeed, a very strong one maybe. So let's think about what Scorpio represents, and then let's think about what Pluto represents. Scorpio represents occult, it represents power, it represents music and unity with another person or subject, relationship, deep, intimate relationships. Pluto is the soul theme, it's how you use power. So obviously I'm going to be very involved with the occult, perhaps, with relationships and with magic. And because my Pluto is in the 3rd house, which has to do with Gemini, and communication, I'm going to be teaching magic for my soul purpose. I'm going to be teaching others how to use their emotions, Scorpio, and connecting with them on a very deep level. So communication will be a major theme. So how did I get communication? Okay, I'll quickly go over the houses, and then I think that's all we will do for now, just because I could talk for all day about this, and I know it's quite overwhelming. So, and you can ask me questions in the group, of course, and we can go into more if you guys want. Let's just go over the houses really quickly, so you guys can start interpreting your charts and just kind of figure it out. Okay, so the 1st house is the ascendant, and the ascendant or the rising sign is what face you wear to the world. It's the mask you wear. It's what people see from you when they first meet you. So mine in Leo is, hi, I'm the sun, I'm bright. Also Virgo, hi, I'm sweet, and I'm here to help you. And it's also where your soul is going. Very easy way to look at it. The 2nd house, and they all are in combination, by the way, they're all in alignment with the zodiac signs in exactly the same order that we went over them. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Very, very simple. So Taurus would be the second one. And the second house has to do with, the first house is kind of like identity, right? Your ego sometimes as well. So the second house has to do with values. What do you value? It has to do with self-worth and health often. So if you have like a very strange planet like Uranus in the second house, you're going to have some health issues, right? Just use your intuition when it comes to this kind of stuff. So the third house, why is the most by itself? The third house has to do with communication, creativity, ideas. The fourth house has to do with the home, with nurturing, and with the mother very often. So as you can see, I grew up in a very weird home, a very strict home, weird, strict mother with Saturn and Uranus there. So the fifth house has to do with procreation, with children, and creativity. And as you can see, my Saturn is almost conjunct, so I'm kind of a serious person sometimes, even though I'm playful. The sixth house has to do with your everyday work life. Mine's in Aquarius. I'm going to have a weird job, and I'm going to be using technology. Very, very simple. The seventh house has to do with relationships. The seventh house is also called the descendant. And this is who you're going to be attracted to for a partner, but it's also going to be like something you don't quite understand yet. And in my experience, if you spend time with these people, they will teach you and help you balance your energies out. So obviously I'm kind of attracted to Aquarius and Pisces people. Those people fascinate me. and people who are very sensitive. My moon is there. So eighth house has to do with intimacy. It has to do with the unknown and things out of our control. Taxes, even, like things like that, like things that we have to kind of just deal with that we don't want to sometimes. And death and sexuality. So the ninth house has to do with learning. It has to do with teaching. It has to do with traveling often and other cultures. The 10th house has to do with career and your public image. So the midheaven, the MC, is the face you wear to the world. It's the middle part of your zodiac. So I look 10th house, I look on the left, I see Taurus. People see me as very grounded and kind of sensual. Taurus is kind of like princessy. So that's what I see for that house. And you can see that my Jupiter is here in the 10th house, retrograde. So for a career, I will be a teacher. Jupiter is the sign of teaching. But because it's retrograde, it's going to take me a little bit longer to step into that career. Probably because my Sun and my Pluto are in the 3rd house, Gemini, and I'm all over the place. And I like to do a lot of different things. Okay, so the 11th house has to do with friends and coworkers and communities and other people. As you can see, I have Chiron here, so I'm a little bit wounded maybe with friends, which is why I instead focus on a community of people rather than just like one or 2 people. I'm focused more on a lot of people, on you guys. Okay, so the 12th house is the spiritual realm. I guess you could call it that. It's past lives. And it's what energy you're bringing in from spirit. So as you can see, mine's in Leo. I'm bringing in the fire. I'm bringing in the heart. And that's basically it for now. So I guess I could go over the North Node and some other things that I put in there as well. So basically Juno here is an asteroid that represents soulmates. So I'll let you kind of go over that for yourself and figure that out. South Node represents past lives. North Node represents this life, jobs in this life, what you're letting go of, what you're moving toward. So Pisces, intuition. 7th, dealing with other people, teaching other people. And Black Moon, this is kind of more for females right now. This is where you will be tempted and then find your divine feminine power. For men, it may be the kind of woman you're attracted to, right? But kind of scared of sometimes. And is that it? Your Chiron is where you're wounded, yes. So those are some more important things. And I think that's all that I wanted to kind of go over today. I don't really think I want to get into all the aspects because it's just a lot to go over the sextiles and oppositions and squares and things. Basically, to start, to sum it up though for now, the red aspects here are kind of harder aspects, and the blue ones are the easier ones. So in past lives, maybe you didn't work on certain things, and then you're working on them in this life. These ones are your natural talents. So my sun, sextile Saturn, means that I have been working on my authority for lifetimes now, and I'm stepping into it in this life. So it's very intuitive, and maybe we will go over some of the aspects and things later on in the group. I don't know, maybe I'll put out a course, I'm not sure, but I really hope that you enjoyed this and just start to play around with it. This is just a basic introduction, and I really hope to see your results in the community. Please feel free to share. I'm happy to talk about astrology, and I can answer some more of your questions in the community. So I'm very excited, guys, and I will see you in magic school. Okay, bye.